Welcome back to You've Made a Mobile App, Now What? Today's lesson is going to be about attracting people to your page. So, to quote Field of Dreams here, if you build it, they will come. Well, not unless they don't know you exist. So, it's going to be critical that we start driving traffic to that landing page and basically shouting from the mountaintops that you've got a mobile app. So, let's take a look at the next steps. Okay, so now you are plagued with that question, how do I get customers to my landing page? You know, it's something to have an app, but if you don't tell people where it is or how to find it, they're gonna not have a clue that it even exists. So we're gonna take a few minutes here to talk about how to get people to come to your landing page so that they can put your app on their device. So I know some of you out there have not actually published your app yet, and you're just looking for ways to start to get the audience engaged and to let people know that it's coming. So here's a couple quick recommendations for you. The first foremost, create a teaser landing page. This is one that you'll put up before the app is actually launched, and it's going to talk about the app. It's going to get people excited. It's going to get them engaged, and it's going to have them anticipate what's coming. Even though you don't have it completely designed yet or published yet, you can certainly do a video about it, and you can certainly put about what the features are going to be and what's coming. And then on that page, make sure that you collect beta subscribers or people that you can have to actually test the app for you in the field. And you also want to start collecting emails so that as soon as it is ready to launch and you have a launch party, then you're going to be able to send this out to them and instantly get hundreds of downloads depending upon how many email subscriptions that you do collect, so that as soon as it is ready to launch, people are ready to start talking about it. Now, when you do publish your app, or even if your app already has been published, you can make some changes to it. The one thing you want to do is you want to optimize the publishing. You want to make it stand out in the stores. I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's over 2 million apps in the App Store these days. And so you need to actually direct people to your app. So you want to optimize things like the icon. In other words, have it on the phone so that people remember exactly what it is. You want to make it simple, you want to make it easy for them to see, and you want to make it memorable. The same thing with the title. What's the catchy title? Now, on the phone itself, you can only have 13 characters underneath your icon, but in the App Store itself, you can have a catchy title, and you definitely want to make sure that it's something nobody else has, but that it still actually describes, such as the E-driven scorecard. We know that that's got something to do with scoring in sports. Really linked, might even have something to do with connections or LinkedIn. And so these are ways for people to kind of understand a little bit just from the title. And then your description, you want to go as deep as you can. You want the first couple of lines to grab people about what your app does. People do always read at least the first 2 lines, but then you want to make it so engaging that they're going to want to learn more. And you can go just about as deep as you want on this. So get really into exactly what your app is going to offer, because if people are interested, they are going to keep reading until they hit that get button or that install button. And make sure your screenshots are something that people actually want to look at. Make them part of your app. Make them have them be a little jazzy. Don't just make them nice and square with just the data. Make them attractive and showing the screens that you really want to stand out. Okay, so when you're advertising, there's some really key things to remember. And when I use the word advertising, it doesn't necessarily mean paid advertising. Advertising or even posts on social media, blog articles that you may share, even networking when you're talking to people and trying to get them to download your app and tell you about what your business is all about. So there's some key features that you have to keep in mind. The first and foremost is make it simple and clear with the introduction of your app. You don't want to get complicated. If you are a dog groomer, you want to tell people, my app is so that they can schedule appointments. Or if you are the E-driven scorecard, mine is for being able to keep score for kids and be able to see what their little league stats are. And the same thing with Really Linked. It's my app is able to help you take networking to the next level. Even if you were to do the app that is for finances, my app will keep you up to date on what's going on with the market. And you want to make it so that it's just one sentence, one simple, clear-cut sentence. That's all that you need. That should suffice very simply. And then you want to get some inspiration from other apps. Go on the App Store, take a look, see what other people in your same line of work are doing. You want to get the inspiration from the other apps. Okay, let's talk about social media now. And I don't care which platform you're talking about. A lot of these same practices meet the same for everybody across the board. So whether you're working with Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, find out where your customer hovers. Don't feel that you have to be on all of the different social medias to capture every single person that's out there. Figure out where your target market lands, and then you'll be able to actually monetize on that, and you're going to actually capitalize on that. So yes, we are definitely doing with the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, share no evil. Keep this positive about your business. You don't have to worry about the other people in the same space that you are. You want to do only promoting your business. So let's talk a little bit about social media. Okay, so let's talk about the do's and the do nots when it comes to social media. Now, I realize that some of you probably already know some of these, but it's a good refresher course. So let's take a look at what's important when it comes to the do's and the do nots within social media. So first thing, be wise. Be very conscious of what you're posting. Make sure that it's relevant to your business. Make sure that your post or something, a friend of mine actually, Jonathan Christian, who runs a very good social media class, always said, make sure it's something your mother is willing to read. If you wouldn't want to tell your mother that, don't post it. And you also want to be engaging with your audience. And that doesn't always mean that it's about your product, your app, your service, but it's about keeping your audience engaged. Maybe it's a tip or trick that you want to share, or something funny, and all your posts don't have to be about quoting people either. You need a good mix and a good blend to keep your audience engaged. And you sometimes want to do some teasers and make it intriguing, and let them dig deep to kind of wonder what's up, and make it so that people will want to look a little further to learn about what are you really talking about there, and make it click worthy, make it share worthy. So when you kind of entangle all of these things together with the engaging your audience and teasing and making intriguing and click worthy, you ultimately want them to go back to your landing page to say, I want more. I want to have this mobile app on my phone because I want to do business with that business. And you definitely want to make it share worthy. Oh my gosh, you really need to make it so people want to share it with their friends. And think about that power, the degrees of separation that we have. And when you do post anything, put your watermark and your logo on it so people know that it's yours, and make sure that it is yours. Make sure if you're going to do images that they are ones with good copyright so that you aren't infringing on somebody else's work. And you want to share things to your blog. Write good blogs and make it content that people want, and then upload that to the media. And then it'll take them back to your website where they can learn about their mobile app. So when you are writing your blog, make sure that it's something that you are ready to share on other media sites. And you want to put it all out there, and then it's clickable back to your website, so that people will come there, and from the website you can always have the buttons on there to download your app. And you want to keep it fresh. Make sure that you are always adding good content, regular content. Have a calendar, have a system, have a method and a plan. Don't just start randomly posting out there because you think something is cute and good. Have an actual plan. Social media is nothing more than your marketing tool, so that you can get people to do business with you and download your app. Now there's very specific do nots, and I know some of you know this. Don't just simply copy and paste and then move on. Make sure that it's something, first of all, that's worthy of your business, and something that you have added something to it when you send it on. because your audience wants to hear what you have to say. Otherwise, you're just sharing other people's content and other people's stuff, and that's actually giving them credit. And don't go for days or weeks without posting or engaging. People will forget you and move on these days. We are so inundated with content and people and so much stimulus going on that all we can think about is what's top of mind. So make sure that you are posting on a regular basis, even a regular time during the day. And do not look or sound like your competitors. Be you, be authentic. There's a reason why you are in business. There's a big why that you're trying to put out there. And it's nothing like your competition. In fact, you've got a mobile app, you're standing out right then and there. So make sure that the look and feel is about you and not about them. And don't leave your content or its creators uncredited. So if you're sharing somebody else's blog or their image or their quote, make sure to credit the other party. In fact, I did that at the beginning of this slide where I talked about Jonathan Christian. I gave credit to the fact that he had made that statement about only post images that you are happy to show your mother. So you always want to keep things credited. And do not ignore your medias that you have a profile on. If you have something and you're not paying attention to it, if you've got too many medias, delete them, because actually you get dinged on Google for having an account with no activity whatsoever. Google looks at that and you're not a valid business. And we all know that you're a valid business. You've got a mobile app. So just focus on those that are important and feel free to delete or make them inactive for now if you're not on these different medias. Take a good look at them, and I would say maximum focus on 3, but even then I would just focus on 2. Figure out where your customers are and just focus on those. Everything else will definitely come. And you don't engage during low traffic times. If you know that people aren't out there, if your audience doesn't actually look at their phone between 9 and 5 because they have day jobs, then by all means, don't be posting during those times. Now you might have to test the market to figure out when that is, and you can easily do that with your analytics and look to see what the engagement is. And make sure that when you're doing all of this, that you are being authentically you, posting about your business, the fact that you do have a mobile app. You want to tell people that you have the mobile app, and you want to be able to tell them what your business is about and how they can do business with you. Now here's one last ninja trick on Facebook that I haven't really shared much, and if you want to learn more about it, we certainly can discuss it at a later time. But that button that you have where it says to call me or make an appointment, that hot button that they have, one of them is to use apps. So you can actually right there from your social media on your Facebook page encourage people to download the app. So these are some really critical things that you want to take a look at. Now let's talk about getting into the world of app videos. So we want to be able to do some videos to share about our app, but there's some things that I want you to be wise about. First of all, be careful. Make sure that the content that you're putting on the video is really about your app, showcasing your app and why people want to actually have that. What pain are you solving for them? So be a little bit careful with that, and also make sure that you are not having your video go longer than 90 seconds to 2 minutes. The attention span these days is so tight that if people don't get it that quick, they're going to just move on. And when you are creating your video, you want to make sure that it is showcasing your app and only your app at that point, because that's what the video is all about. And once you're ready to create, go ahead and check other app videos out there and get some inspiration. You don't have to constantly reinvent the wheel. You want to be able to showcase exactly what you're doing, and through a video these days, that is probably the easiest way to do that. And there's some tools out there to help you put the apps together, or to put the videos together for your apps that aren't real complicated. And if that's something that you're interested in, shoot me a message and I'll be more than happy to share some of the tricks that are out there. Let's talk about engaging your customers so that you can download the app and have them also share it with their friends. First, why don't you send out an email blast? Go ahead and share it out there. Tell everybody you have it. In fact, on every email that you send, you should have your links on there to download the app. You want to invite people and constantly remind them. If you think just sending out one email and people will either download it or they won't, no, they need to be reminded. And it talks about, it's a typical 7 touches to get people to actually take action. And you want to do networking. Whenever you are in a public networking session, make sure people know that you have a mobile app. Be proud of it. You want to get more downloads, you got to tell people it's there. You can put it right on your business card. You can show people when you're face to face with them and say, hey, let me show you something pretty cool that I have that maybe you or one of your customers might find interesting. So make sure that when you're networking, you're talking about it. And you want to host an app launch party, whether you've already had an app for years or if this is something brand new. There's nothing that says you cannot have a launch party after you've had your app for a few years. Make it fun, invite users, possibly even some press. Get it out there and let people know that it's there. And you want to broadcast your event, whether you're doing some videos, whether or not you're talking in a podcast. If you're being interviewed in a podcast, you want to talk about it. You want to make different posts. You want to broadcast it. You want everybody to know that you have an event coming up to launch your app. And you want to possibly even do a live stream of your launch party. Go ahead and grab a Facebook Live, or better yet, ask one of your users to do a Facebook Live for you or with you, or walk around with your phone interviewing people on the Facebook Live. Other people love the press time. So you want to keep your customers engaged when you're working with your mobile app so that they want to keep it on their phone and they want to tell others about it. Time for a review of what we have learned today. The first thing that we talked about was identifying your target market and why that is important. And then what problem does your app solve? You want to identify that for your market. And what is a landing page? We talked about how that comes into play here and why a landing page is so important. And we also talked about how to drive traffic to your landing page so that you can get people to download your app, and how to advertise to the world that you've got a mobile app. Now, those are some key elements, and we might have gone through some of the things pretty quick today because there was a lot of material to cover. So I suggest that you go back and review and take a look at each page one by one so that you can incorporate this into your mobile app marketing. So next week in lesson 2, we are going to be talking about Community Connect. We're going to talk about finding new clients, engaging those clients, sustaining those clients, bringing on referrals and continuous new clients, basically to wash, rinse, and repeat. So check in next week for the lesson 2. So in between our next lesson, if you do have any questions, I am welcoming you to contact me with any questions that you might have. I am Nancy, the App Mama, and you can just shoot me an email at info@unleashedmobileapps.com, or you can send me a text at 262-233-4160, or you can just look up at our website at unleashedmobileapps.com. And we are more than happy to answer any of your questions. So thank you for your time today. I am grateful that you were able to carve out this time to spend with us. And if you have any questions, please reach out, and I look forward to seeing you next week. In the meantime, you have an absolutely wonderful day.